Well, happy holidays. That's what the culture is trying to teach us to say. So is the culture killing Christmas? Or is Christmas still impacting our culture for good? I was reminded of an experience I had. Our second daughter was reluctant to speak. She never talked. She was about, I don't know how old you're supposed to be when you're supposed to talk, but I knew she was supposed to be talking. But she had an older sister, a year and a half older than she, and she interpreted everything to us. She would say to us, "Dad, Annie wants this," or "She wants that, Mom." And Annie never had to speak, and so she didn't. She just would look to Ellen, and Ellen would tell us what she wanted. And we were in seminary at the time. We decided on Christmas Eve to drive around and look at the houses. Very few houses in Sewanee. I mean, this was about a 10-minute undertaking. And as we began to drive down the darkened streets, we passed the first house that was all lit up the way the culture does it. And our non-speaking daughter said her first words. They were not "Jesus is Lord" or "Merry Christmas." Her first words were "decorated lights." We were stunned. We rejoiced. We drove around Sewanee for about an hour, and every house we passed, she said, "Decorated lights, decorated lights, decorated lights." So we kind of felt like the culture sort of blessed us in that way. You know, preachers every year rant about the commercialization of Christmas. Let's keep Christ in Christmas. Jesus is the reason for the season, and so on. And I've done it myself. Father Ray did it a little bit last night. Chris did it a little bit yesterday afternoon. It's pretty obvious and sort of easy to do. I'm going to do it just a little bit today. Especially when you see in the news that in North Korea, the dictator Kim Jong-un has banned any celebration that even remotely smacks of Christmas. Last year, he banned the religious celebration of Christmas. This year, he's banned any cultural celebration. Any gathering which involves singing and drinking is not to be allowed. Not a lot of wassailing going on in North Korea, nor in Somalia, nor in Saudi Arabia, for that matter, to other countries under strict orders not to celebrate Christmas. It reminds us, of course, of the early years of Christianity, when the Roman Empire considered Christianity to be a seditious cult. And despite being very liberal about other religions, for example, Rome was very comfortable with Judaism. The Roman emperors sought to stamp Christianity out. Persecution, imperial persecution from the emperors, began with the Roman Emperor Nero, very famous, in 64 AD. It worked against him. That persecution in 64 AD was what probably prompted the writing of the Gospel Mark, which we think was written about AD 65. These persecutions did not end until the Emperor Diocletian whose horrible and bloody efforts to completely abolish Christianity failed in the year 311. Now that is 8 straight generations of cultural and political oppression, of hostility and abuse. So we Christians are a little touchy about Christmas getting commercialized and are downright grumpy when Christmas gets politically attacked. Yet the Emperor Constantine in 313 placed Christianity on a full legal equality with any religion in the Roman world, and in 380 Theodosius made Christianity compulsory, the state religion of the Roman Empire. And if that seems like a great turnaround, consider now that there are 2.4 billion adherents of the Christian faith. That's 1/3 of the world's population. So historically, Christianity seems to survive being banned. And worldwide, Christmas is the most widely celebrated feast in the church's liturgical year. Our liturgical year begins, as you all know, you all are the hardcore here on Christmas morning. It begins, as you know, with Advent, and now Christmas, then Epiphany, then Lent and Holy Week, and then that ends with Easter, then Pentecost, which goes on and on and on, and then all the way to Advent again. Now, I've noticed that there's a commercial liturgical year. It begins in August when the Halloween things hit the shelves, and then by September now, Thanksgiving stuff appears, and then in October, Christmas gear is set out. Black Friday is highly celebrated as a new all-purpose holy day. And then quickly after Christmas comes New Year's, and then the Super Bowl, and Valentine's Day, and Mother's Day, and Father's Day, which is obviously an afterthought. And then right before August is the celebration of NPED Day. This is true. You've not celebrated this? This day is the new personal electronic device day. A new holiday. But you see how easy this is to kind of go on a rant. So stopping short of this, let's look at a few facts and revisit the question, is Christianity dying away? 92% of Americans celebrate Christmas. 92% of Americans don't do anything else. 92%. 96% of all U.S. Christians celebrate Christmas. Over 2/3 as a religious observance. Now, you can celebrate Christmas without being religious about it. I grew up in a non-liturgical church which resisted Christmas because you couldn't explicitly prove December 25th was the date through the Bible. So still we had a Christmas tree and we celebrated Christmas as sort of a family cultural holiday. Even at that, I got it. That it was all about Jesus and about the love of God and about the joy of salvation, whatever salvation meant to me as a little kid. Somehow, the essence of the gospel leaked through the culture, through maybe the star on the Christmas tree, or through the joy of giving and receiving, or through coming together as a family, even through Santa Claus. and Rudolph's vindication. These were all good things. And especially through the carols and the Christmas cards. And we had a Christmas creche in our house, even though our church taught us we were supposed to have scruples against that. How did that happen? That's very interesting. And you might think it odd that a Christian church would take a stand against the celebration of Christmas. Yet, in our Anglican history, in the year 1647, just after the English Civil War, a Protestant Parliament banned Christmas. Protests were immediately raised, and rioting broke out in several cities. Canterbury, where we Anglicans used to call home, was controlled by pro-Christian rioters for weeks. And in 1660, the ban was officially lifted. Scotland had previously banned observance of Christmas in 1640, and it was not until 1958 that it became again a Scottish public holiday. And of course, in colonial America, where do you suppose Christmas was banned? Banned in Boston, where everything gets banned, from 1659 to 1681. It's very interesting. Christmas has not been without controversy, and it's not without controversy today. The Merry Christmas signs in Murfreesboro are gone. They've all been updated, I would say downgraded, but they now read Happy Holidays. We don't sing Christmas carols in schools anymore. They're replaced by holiday songs, like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, which I really like, or I'll Be Home for Christmas. I like that one too. So these things are pressing on us, but not as stridently as in 1998 in Birmingham, England, where the city council renamed Christmas. They named it Winterval. No Christmas. It's all Winterval. How do you think that played out? The resistance was huge. The city council was accused of political correctness gone mad. And the promotion quickly fizzled out. I've not been to Birmingham, England, but I have read about it, and my general sense is, if ever there was a place that needed a good dose of Christmas cheer, even secular Christmas cheer, it would be Birmingham, England. So what is the status of Christmas here in Rutherford County, Tennessee? Well, it was looking pretty good last night, and it's looking good again this morning. Thank you guys for coming. Christmas, Christ's Mass, seems to be alive and healthy. People are gathered, hymns and carols are being sung, prayers are offered, the scriptures are read, the gospel is preached, I hope. Sins are repented of, forgiveness is received, Holy Communion, Christ's Mass is celebrated. People, you people, are fed spiritual food and spiritual drink. And it makes for new life in us, real life in us. And we go out into the world. And through Christ in us, the culture's impacted. in us, but by Him, and with Him, and in Him, which is where we are right now, in Him. This is how we say the gospel happens. By Him, and with Him, and in Him. So we are part of those 96% of Christians who are celebrating Christmas, are meant on this holy day to be sent out in peace as decorated lights in what often seems a very dark world. St. John said of Christ that in Him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness is not overcome. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.